on top of what SHA has given, I think that is a very positive move, and maybe in future, in the near future, looking at the vision of the president, I think the whole country will be covered by SHA. When we were in Logologo, Marsabit County, on Sunday the other week, the president was there. The president said, in Kiswahili, muende hospitali, SHA mindo ntalipa pesa. Says, go to the hospital, SHA will pay you, I will pay you. And I was asking, how can this happen? Then yesterday, I had time to go and sit with the SHA CEO, and I asked her what that meant. And she told me very clearly, anything from rural hospitals managed by the counties will be free. But what is happening, Honorable Speaker, there is 13 billion shillings, which is supposed to be paid to the counties, and unfortunately, counties are not capable of managing those hospitals. From level 1 to level 4, level 3, they have not claimed that money, and this money is still lying with SHA, and I hope and wish the governors can take some action and see how our people can be managed, can be easily helped by giving them access to hospitals. Honorable Speaker, the issue that has to be fast-tracked is on national audit of SHA, on reimbursement appeal system has to be hastened so that claims can be paid very fast. Honorable Speaker, as you are aware, in this House, I've said this House some time back, the affordable housing is a scam. I want to retract that wording now because I've seen units being built in Nakuru, Eldoret, Mombasa, Nairobi, Marsabit, Isiolo, Meru, everywhere. And our people are really happy. And something the President has forgotten to mention, Honorable Speaker, we have commercial developers doing a lot of development in this country. If you go to Isli, South C, South B, Parklands, Kilimani, and many, many other places, they have invested heavily, and this is a huge contribution to this country. That is what should be also, the President should have mentioned that they have contributed heavily to the development of this country. Honorable Speaker, there is issues we need to also discuss about universities. Funding model still is a challenge. I think the President needs to work on that one and see, definitely through the Treasury, Ministry of Education, to see how this can be rescued. Honorable Speaker, let me come to cost of living. Honorable Speaker, if you look at electricity cost in Ethiopia, is 1 birr per kilowatt hour. That means it's about 90 cents Kenya shillings per kilowatt hour. What do we have in Kenya, Honorable Speaker? 27 shillings per kilowatt hour. How do you expect the cost of living to be lower than any other East African countries? Let me give you an example of Ethiopia. The electricity capacity they are producing, Honorable Speaker, is 13,000 megawatts plus. What do we produce in Kenya? 2,700. You've had the President talking to the Prime Minister, Ethiopian Prime Minister, and see if we can be given more supplies of more electricity into Kenya, because we have got a line which is capable of taking 2,000 megawatts. Honorable Speaker, the cost of living will not go down because of the issues of wealth. This needs to be tackled. If you want to, I don't know after how many years, if you want to take the model of Singapore, there are so many things we must do. And the President cannot be one-man army. He has to be, he has a vision. He's trying to tell his visions to us. But we have to, as politicians, as people of this country, we have to support him to make sure that his vision and dream comes through. That is how we are looking at Singapore. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, in Marsabit, there are so many roads that has told. Because of securitization of the money, he borrowed 75 billion.
Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I want to register my appreciation to colleagues who have at least taken time for people to campaign so hard. And account is a difficult thing. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, you know, people even don't know that we earn the same salary with members of the National Assembly. Yet we represent and do a job that is 4, 5, 6, or even 17 times what they do in terms of representation, Mr. Speaker. Yet, after doing all that difficult task, Mr. Speaker, you find people not getting the time to come to the House. That really bothers me. I must appreciate that at least, unlike last year, today we went to the second, actually the third session of debate, because we did this speech yesterday afternoon, today in the morning, and this afternoon because of our colleagues who have spoken about it. Last year, actually, we concluded on the first session, because I don't know for what reason you couldn't find enough people to debate and say the things that they were saying. So I want to register my appreciation to colleagues who have taken time to read the 163 paragraphs of this speech and given their evaluation and their assessment. There are many that have agreed with the proposals that are being made by the President and the call to action that is giving to the nation on the things that needs to be achieved. Mr. Speaker, there are those that disagree as well. I agree, Mr. Speaker, with colleagues that are saying there are certain aspects that should have been mentioned and probably did not feature. But, Mr. Speaker, you know, there were days we used to go to the State of the Nation address and you sit there for 3 hours. In fact, I remember the former president another time, he threw away half of his speech and said, these things are too much, I've said enough that I need to say. But when you are a leader that appreciates what you are saying, Mr. Speaker, you limit yourself to that which you feel is most fundamental at that particular time. And I feel strongly, Mr. Speaker, that the President took time to address the issues of the progress that his administration has made the last 3 years, and now setting the solid foundation for what we need to do in the years that are coming. Mr. Speaker, we must appreciate that what part of the biggest deficiency that this country suffers is that we want to politicize everything. That we reduce our national conversations to be you must win or I must lose conversations, Mr. Speaker. We must rise and get to a point of having a vision that we agree to as a nation. And then we all aspire. And it will not matter who is president, who is senator, who is governor. We just know that these are the things that we are focusing on for the next 10, 15, or 20 years. Mr. Speaker, you know, many times when people speak about the things that have happened in this country, you would think that there was no country before 2022. There was a nation. There were challenges. If you speak about the education sector, for example, is it not true, Mr. Speaker, that in the last 3 years under this administration, what is the biggest challenge that many of the constituents, for example, the people that I represent in this house, ask us about? They tell you that we need enough teachers to teach our students, because the worst thing that can happen to a parent is to send your child to a public institution and there's no teacher to teach them. We were in a situation, Mr. Speaker, where in certain schools, you are finding that one teacher was teaching 3 or 4 subjects because there are not enough people. The progress that has been made of employing close to 80,000 teachers up to this point is significant progress and need to be noted. The second thing, Mr. Speaker, that we struggle about is infrastructure. I went through public education, and I know today when I visit, for example, Unity Primary School, where I went to school, Mr. Speaker, I feel troubled because the kids squeeze themselves in a tiny little room, close to 100 children, particularly in cities, a place like Nairobi here, Mr. Speaker, where many children go to public institutions, Mr. Speaker, don't have sufficient infrastructure. This government has put in place the sufficient resources first to build across the country 23,000 classrooms to take care of the transition that is happening from the former education 844 to CBE, competent-based education, Mr. Speaker, and the rest of the things that need to be done. Therefore, you can record, and that's what we have said. While it is good to say the things that are not up to par in all our sectors, we must never forget where we have come from and what has been done. You can say the same about the health sector. Speak to your governor, Governor Mutuma, and he will tell you, Mr. Speaker, that part of the bigger problem that many of our county hospitals used to face from the defunct NHIF is that when they offered services to citizens, many of our public hospitals would actually wait for a year or two before being paid. That is no longer the case. We have challenged, and I'm happy because we are all in this house, and I hope C.S. Duale meant what he said when he promised us that before the end of the mandatory 1 year, 3 months period that we have given them under the Section 43 of the Social Health Authority Act, he will bring a report to this house. And I mentioned to him and I said, I want to see that report detailed, name by name, the institutions that have been compensated in my own county. Because I want to go there and see Cheborgei Health Center. How much in compensation have they received over the last 1 year? Because that is the only way you're going to build a credible public health infrastructure, Mr. Speaker. One that is supported by payments from the national coverage that citizens are receiving. As we speak today, Mr. Speaker, you cannot argue with the fact that there are 28 million Kenyans that are registered under SHA. They register themselves, 50,000 of them each day. Do you know why they are registering? It's because they hear from their neighbor that when I was unwell, my bill was 600,000-700,000, SHA paid for me 200,000 or 300,000. And that means a lot to the ordinary folk in the village. Mr. Speaker, we must establish ways through which we will provide medicine in our health facilities. It is the biggest concern each time, it's the biggest concern that citizens raise, for example, with me as a representative each time when I speak in public engagements and ask them to register on SHA, because they tell me, then tell the governors to put medicine in the hospitals, because it's not sufficient just to walk there. Mr. Speaker, there have been arguments that have been made also about the lack of address to national values and principles of governance. My colleague, Senator Sifuna, the last paragraph of that article that you read speaks about sustainable development, development that transitions from one generation to the other. I believe that is what the president is speaking to in the last 45 paragraphs of his speech, the things that we must do as a republic. And he asked the questions in this speech, Mr. Speaker, that, for example, when we did privatization of Telkom, when we did privatization of KenGen, when we did privatization of Safaricom, where did those funds go? We consumed it all in salaries. That's why we are saying we must be a people that inflect and reflect and learn from the mistakes of the past. That's why we are proposing this time and saying that if we carry out any privatization like what is being done with Pipeline and all the rest that are following, we must put it in a national sovereign wealth fund like other countries do, funds that will only be invested in making our country better. I believe that is part of sharing the burden from one generation to the other, and so many other things that can be done. What I want to challenge in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, because I know my time is up, and I don't want to speak a lot because my colleague have said very, very important things, is as a house, what I expect us to do come 2026, Mr. Speaker, is in so many of these solid programs that are being proposed, where I feel we have let the people of Kenya down is on our oversight as an institution of governance in this country, Mr. Speaker. There are many programs, Mr. Speaker, that have been done and they are running out within the circles of public, Mr. Speaker, yet there are questions that citizens continue to raise, which they expect that us as their representatives, we will speak about them to fine-tune, from the affordable housing program to social health to this one of the sovereign wealth. Senator Mungatana, we must be the voice that continue to check and ensure the dream that we had when we passed those laws is implemented to the letter. My dear colleagues, there is what the executive can do. There is what also we must do as a legislature. And it is not in our place. We must compete. For example, I have challenged and I have told the House that as we receive the reports of, for example, the markets and the houses that are being built across the country, we must see the national spread. You must see significant markets of 700, 800, 900 million shillings being built in Tana River the same way they are being built in other parts of the country. That is our duty. And we must ensure that as the president and the executive do their part, we also do our part, Mr. Speaker. That is what we are called upon to. Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply and do ask my colleagues to take note of the fact that besides the speech of the State of the Nation, Mr. Speaker, that the President gave, there are other reports that are also tabled alongside, including the report on the state of security, the report on the progress made in fulfilling international obligations. Those are very important, Mr. Speaker, because, for example, why I'm speaking, Speaker, allow me just 30 seconds to say this. It's because, for example, I know Kenya signs, what are they called? The name disappears from my mind right now. The economic agreements, CEPA, comprehensive economic partnership agreements with other countries, including countries like those in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker. It is the time has come for us as members of this House to look into the details of those agreements and see what the host countries give as their commitment, Mr. Speaker, in ensuring that the fundamental rights of the citizens from this country that work in those countries are guaranteed, Mr. Speaker. It is not fair for many of our young people that we see working, particularly in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker, and occasionally we keep seeing videos of them being harassed. Some of them are killed, Mr. Speaker, yet it is without consequence. There must be a consequence to the host country, Mr. Speaker, because all those agreements are signed and approved and ratified by this House. Therefore, it is our duty to ensure that we follow through, to ensure that Kenyans who work in those countries, Mr. Speaker, their rights are guaranteed. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker.
Order number 15, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Roads, Transportation and Housing on a petition by Mr. Francis Otieno regarding compensation to sugarcane crop damaged by the Department of Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport in Pap Oriang in Siaya County.
This motion was discussed on Wednesday, 19th November 2025, afternoon sitting. Senator Nderito Kinyua has a balance of 16 minutes if he is around. If he is not, then we go to Senator Mungatana Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to debate this report. Mr. Speaker, this report was occasioned by one Mr. Francis Otieno, who wanted compensation for the damage on his sugarcane crop by the Department of Public Works, Roads, Energy and Transport in Pap/Oriang in Siaya County. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the efforts by the petitioner who sought that the Senate committee would intervene and help him out solve this problem. Mr. Speaker, the chair of this committee, I want to appreciate the work they put in. Senator Migori County, together with the team of honorable members from here, they went to hear this member, Mr. Speaker, and the complaint that he had. But, Mr. Speaker, having listened to what the petitioner had put before the House, and having looked at all the factors that influenced their decision, I'm convinced that our Senate committee, in a way, did not do what our citizen expected of them. Mr. Speaker, if you look at what the committee has recommended, the committee made an interesting recommendation. The committee said that when the matter was initially presented to the Senate, the information indicated the existence of a dispute between the petitioner and a contractor hired by the county government. However, further interrogation of the matter revealed that this was a private dispute between the petitioner and the contractor, Mr. Ainia Oviambo. The committee therefore recommends that the petitioner refers the matter to the appropriate bodies mandated to arbitrate or adjudicate private disputes. So, Mr. Speaker, the question that begs is that if you are seized of the matter and a citizen has come and made an appeal before the Senate committee and they have done all the due diligence, why can't the Senate committee at least give an opinion and give a finding that yes, there is a genuine complaint, that yes, the road was diverted from the initial direction to another direction, that yes, sugarcane crop valued this amount was destroyed, and that yes, the petitioner is entitled to compensation. Mr. Speaker, all this was not done. Instead, our petitioner, who saw that this is his last resort to getting justice, was again referred to other adjudicative bodies. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we have power to deal with matters such as this, and an opinion of the Senate committee, which we would adopt here in the House as the opinion of the Senate, would have added weight, even if it would have meant that the petitioner should follow up with other due processes. It would have added weight. But, Mr. Speaker, for the committee to tell us that they should just ask the petitioner to simply go to other adjudicative bodies, I feel that justice was not meted to the petitioner, the citizen who came before the Senate. And, Mr. Speaker, if this was the case from the very beginning, they should have said this at the very beginning. But to take time and get a citizen to put all the effort and then you leave him high and dry, I don't think this is the correct thing that the committee did, Mr. Speaker. And maybe going forward, we need to review our approach to these matters. But having said this, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell the petitioner that he should not give up, that what you have done, your work that you have done, your sugar cane must not go to waste. The damages that you have incurred, you must pursue them so that you can get your right. Because it is not right. Mr. Speaker, when a farmer goes into the processes of farming, they spend a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. They spend a lot of energy, Mr. Speaker. And for some of us, it's also emotional when you see the crop coming up and the way it is looking green and the way it is swinging with the wind in our custom. People have created songs about food crops. When the rice is swinging in the air, Mr. Speaker, our people have created songs. There is cultural attachment to crop for those who are serious farmers. So, Mr. Speaker, for your crop to just be damaged, not by natural resources, natural circumstances such as flooding or change of weather or excess rains, but by a tractor that comes just because they have decided to change the road, they come into your land, and as they came to the petitioner's land here, Mr. Speaker, it is wrong. And this is why this man came to this Senate. And, Mr. Speaker, for the committee to tell them to go and get other adjudicative remedies, I think we didn't do justice. And the point must be made to the county government and to the public works department. They must be sensitive to our people, our citizens. They must be sensitive to those who have put in effort to decide to invest in farming, you must be sensitive before you go on destroying crops. It's a very sad thing. Some of our people have very strong attachment to animals like cows and bulls. But some of our cultures have very strong attachment, equal, if not more, to crops. So it is wrong to treat this like trash by sending tractors over people's lands without proper permission from the person who has put all that effort. So I sympathize with the petitioner here, Mr. Francis Otieno, and I want to tell you that you should not stop here. Go on and find your rights. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute.
Very well. Next is Senator Okanyuri Esther Anyeni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wish to comment on the report by the Roads Committee, and I equally share the sentiment of the Tana River Senator Mungatana, because I feel after actually going through their recommendations, observations, I feel it was very unfair for the committee to just say that the petitioner should refer the matter to appropriate bodies, as the Senate is not mandated to arbitrate or adjudicate private disputes. Mr. Speaker, the bottom line is that Mr. Otieno never received justice. So just by us as a committee ignoring, I think the committee deserved to go a step further and even try to give some kind of reprieve or advice for Mr. Otieno, because Mr. Otieno in this matter is a member of the public, and when members of the public come to the Senate, they hope, like we as their representatives, are going to look into their issues and speak on their behalf. So we can also not be part of the tossing that they are undergoing out there, Mr. Speaker, because for them to come to Parliament, they are looking at Parliament as the last resort for them. So, Mr. Speaker, I feel like for me, the committee recommendations are not convincing enough, because Mr. Otieno has not received the justice that he needed, because some of the facts are not disputed. Like like the sugarcane was destroyed, they have not disputed that. So when you say he needs to look for other avenues for him to get compensation, I really fail to understand, because already it's been proven that his sugarcane was destroyed and different assessment was done, and what is the discussion here is there were different amounts of compensation that were actually suggested. Maybe that should have been the point of discussion, not tossing him around to look for other avenues of getting redress, Mr. Speaker. So I share my views that the recommendations are not satisfactory. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Joyce Chepkoech, Korir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also contribute on this report by the committee. Honorable Speaker, I would want to stand with the rest of the members in terms of how the committee has handled this matter, and I want to say that, Honorable Speaker, that since the matter is before the Senate, it would be prudent for this House to give justice to Mr. Otieno, and I would want to request, Honorable Speaker, that the committee should move further in terms of having a thorough investigation and fact findings to see the best way forward in terms of making sure that justice is served to Mr. Otieno, Honorable Speaker. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I submit. Thank you.
Sorry, Honorable Senators, there is no other senator willing to contribute to this motion. Therefore, we defer, move her to reply. We defer that bit until maybe next time. Next one.
Order number 16, motion, consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and networking engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the chair, let me move the motion. Mr. Speaker, consideration of the reports of the Standing Committee of the Health on the County Oversight and Network Engagement in Laikipia and the Meru County. Mr. Speaker, these reports before the House contain the reports of the outcome of the comprehensive evidence gathering exercise undertaken by the Committee on Health to oversight deliveries of the medical service, public health sanitation in Laikipia and Meru County in 18th to 20th of June 2025. The oversight visits were adopted as a mode of the operation by the committee in order to gather the evidence and the argument information received within the presence of the parliaments and the key part of the how it engaged with the members of the public. Mr. Speaker, the primary objective of this engagement was critical to our oversight role, and these include to assess and state the quality of the infrastructure, the facility and hospital equipment and provision of the emergency service. Secondly, to assess the availability of the healthcare personnel, the gaps and the challenges faced by these counties regarding human resource for health. 3, to assess the availability of drugs and medical supply in the health facility. 4, to obtain the information on SHA, the facility accreditation, and the pending bills on medical, Kenya Medical Supply Agency, KEMSA. With the committee identify the following health facilities in the 2 counties we have visited. 1, Nyahururu County Referral Hospital and Nyanyuki Teaching Referral Hospital in Laikipia, and Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital, Timau Hospital, Sub-County Hospital, and Kibirichi Sub-County Hospital in Meru. Mr. Speaker, the committee identifies several critical challenges impact on healthcare delivery in both county, that is Laikipia and Meru County. These challenges are structural, undermining the quality and accessibility of the healthcare. Mr. Speaker, the Laikipia County is characterized by the overstretching resources and depleting the infrastructure. The healthcare facilities face a unique funding strain as they serve the residents both from 6 county neighboring, that is Nyeri, Samburu, Nakuru, Isiolo, Meru, and Nyandarua, thereby overstretching both human and financial resources. Nevertheless, we witness the infrastructure deficits in the facility visited. The healthcare facility structure is in critical states of disrepair. Observation at Nyahururu County Referral Hospital include missing windows panels, broken tiles, and deteriorated ceiling, and damages of beddings. Mr. Speaker, the maternity and outpatient department in Nyanyuki County Referral Hospital were extremely overcrowded, and all the maternity ward, shortage of beds, compiling of some women to share the single beds, raising a serious concern regarding the infection risk and patient discomfort. Nyahururu Referral Hospital also experienced the patient sharing of beds due to the overstretching of the capacity. This is there is also a shortage of acute infant incubator in the newborn unit in Nyanyuki Referral Hospital, and the committee observed that they makeshift the incubator, such as they are using a carton, that is a carton box, for reports for the incubators. Mr. Speaker, both facilities visited in Laikipia lack the operational ICU beds. The committee further observed that mortuary facilities are severely overstretched. Nyahururu County Referral Hospital designed for 18 bodies, but when we visited, there are 61 bodies. Nyanyuki Referral Hospital designed for only 12 bodies, but they are handling 62 bodies. Laikipia County also reported the persistent drug supply challenges from KEMSA, with all reorder level rated ranging between 50 and 70%. Insufficiency in management also leads to prevalence of the expiring pharmaceutical and unused medical stocks at both facilities. Sadly, incinerator at Nyahururu Referral Hospital was non-functional, resulting in hazard and accumulations of the medical and biohazard waste. Mr. Speaker, in Meru County, the committee observed that the health care facilities with a referral strain, the Meru Referral Hospital caters to estimate a population of 1.4 million people. In addition, the patients from the surrounding counties, compounding of the budget's pressures, and particularly for critical and specialized service. The committee observed that in Timau sub-county, service from a chronic human resource for health shortage, and during this visit, only 2 pharmacists and 8 clinical officers were reported to be working at the facilities. The maternity ward is deserted due to the poor infrastructure and possible staffing challenges, lacking dedicated theater and also a newborn unit. Mr. Speaker, a critical project, including the mortuary, that is Timau, had installed. One of the buildings was condemned for structural instability, and of particular concern, the facility was using a burned asbestos for roofing. That is violating occupational safety standard. Mr. Speaker, Kibirichi County Sub-County Hospital, we visited impromptu. That was, they are lacking a critical infrastructures like functioning mortuary, staff housing, and specialized units, and other operational ambulance at the facility was poorly maintained and was used for storing the expiry drugs. At Meru County Referral Hospital, the committee observed congestions and equipment failed, and the maternity ward were congested with some patients sharing beds due to the high referral inflow. The mortuary designs for 60 bodies, but they are having 200 bodies at the time of the visit, reflecting a wide infrastructural challenges. The committee also observed that the meds, that is equipment, that is ICU, HDU equipment provided under meds programs are out of services due to lack of maintenance support after the contract expired. The renal units, only 5 functioning. Hemodialysis machines out of 10 due to the lack of consumable and reagents. Mr. Speaker, committee also considered its finding into 4 primary systematic challenges that are hindering the healthcare delivery in the devolution units. These include the health sector funding, the human resource for the health and the health infrastructure and provision of the management of the health product and technology. Both the county increased their health sector budget, funding remaining insufficient related to the magnitude of the devolved health needs and the population served. The majority of the health budget are consumed by the staff salaries and the drug supplies, leaving limited resource for the infrastructure development and the equipment acquisitions and the service expansions. The development allocations are frequently under-implemented and reallocated to recover immediate recurrent expenditure, resulting in incomplete projects such as mortuaries and incinerator. Mr. Speaker, the committee also observed that Meru County is highly dependent on the SHA reimbursement to cover the wage bill, but delays and inconsistency or severe strain the facilities in liquidity. Both counties face inadequate number of the healthcare workers across nearly all the departments. This shortage due to natural attribution and expanding of the scope of the services, meaning the existence of the staff are overburdened and leading to burnout and decline in the quality of the healthcare. Distribution of the healthcare disappropriately favor the higher level hospitals, leaving the sub-counties and preferably the facilities severely understaffed, with a rural area particularly vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, the specialized healthcare workers in critical care, that is pharmacy, laboratory science, and mental health remain scarce. These shortages was compiled facilities to implement inappropriate task shifting, whereby less skilled staff undertaking specialized roles and advance affecting patients' safety. Facility infrastructures in critical states of disrepair, with significant defects observed, including missing the window panels and broken tiles and deflected roof, fallen ceiling, and condemning structures. The critical projects such as mortuary and the waste disposal system and ICU are either installed and incomplete. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee also continue of using of banned materials such as asbestos roofing and compromised safety, inadequate waste management system explained by the non-working incinerator, having resulted in hazard accumulation of the waste. Mr. Speaker, the healthcare facilities lack essential equipment, demonstrating by the critical shortage of incubator beds and equipment and functional dialysis machines and outdated laboratory items. The absence of digital inventory and the supply chain management system has led to a frequent discrepancy between the record and actual stock level. This is sufficient restocking and contribution to the loss and the wastage. Accumulation of the expiry drugs was a common occurrence, frequently stored in unlocked or inappropriate locations, Mr. Speaker, most of the hospital we have visited, the expiry dates are on the shelf of the pharmacy, resulting to the risk of accidental dispensing and posing the serious breach of the patient safety standard. The reports present comprehensive analysis and make firm recommendation aiming at strengthening healthcare system, enhancing accountability, and ensure investment translate into the tangible service delivery improvement. The committee recommends as directed to the key stakeholders. One is the Pharmacy and Poison Board must establish and ensure the robust protocol for pharmaceutical waste management and proper disposal of the expired drugs, and they must undertake a regular audit, ensure the expired drugs are prompt withdrawn and safety destroyed, table the audits reports to the Senate every 6 months. Furthermore, the PPB should implement a digital inventory management system across all the facilities in 47 counties to ensure retrievable and efficiency. The Council of Governors must direct all the county governments to expedite operationalization of the Facility Improvement Financing Act 2023 to enable retentions and transplant use of the facility-generated revenue for infrastructure and service upgrade. Meru County specifically needs to enact this legislation to retain the facility-generated revenue. The committee has also recommended the governor, that's Laikipia County, must convert the healthcare workers under a short-term contract into a permanent and pensionable term, invest in a continuous professional development, and ensure a timely payment of the salary and statutory remittance to the improve the motivation and retention. The governor must also upgrade the healthcare facilities by expanding a unit, operationalization of the ICU, and completing and install projects such as mortuary and incinerator. Mr. Speaker, the challenges identify and overcrowded wards and critical equipment shortages and staff burnouts and the lapse in the pharmaceutical safety demand immediately attention and comprehensive commitment from all levels of the government. It is now my pleasure, Mr. Speaker, and duty and privilege to present these reports and the Standing Committee for consideration and approval of the House on standing order. Mr. Speaker, with this, Mr. Speaker, we wanted to, let me add also some issues, Mr. Speaker, with these counties. We need to implement, they must implement our reports, the recommendation as soon as possible. Mr. Speaker, the health is devolved, and we need all the counties to be upstanding and take the recommendation and must be initiated as soon as possible so that the service delivery of the citizen must be adhered to. Mr. Speaker, with this, I want Senator Cherargei to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Cherargei, are you a member of the committee?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I want to thank my sister, my elder sister, Senator Sheikh Omar, who is the Vice Chairperson of Health Committee, for ably moving. And I know, Mr. Speaker, you are very interested with this report because it touches on Meru also and Nanyuki. Mr. Speaker, I think you need to protect me from Senator Tabitha and Senator Okia Omtata. Interestingly, Okia Omtata has dressed like there is a wedding today. I think you need to revise your speaker's rules, because I think it's okay. It's approaching December, but he should wait until the weddings are many in Busia, Mr. Speaker. He's in a celebratory mood after what he said in the morning. Mr. Speaker, as I rise to move, I am impressed by the report, and I want to request the Committee on Health to visit Kericho, to visit Nandi, to visit Nakuru, to visit all counties virtually. Mr. Speaker, I've already insisted that if we want to know the functionality of devolution, it's only one yardstick, the issue of health. If health is working, devolution is working. I remember when, I don't know whether Kericho County Referral Hospital has been open. How do you close an hospital? If you want to see the wonders of world, just visit Kericho County, and you will be shocked. How do you close an hospital in Kericho? Mr. Speaker, I have never heard. It's like closing a police station. Even Nakuru War Memorial Hospital, Mr. Speaker. You know, I'm always surprised that the 7 wonder of wild beast migration is what is happening in the devolution sector in this country, Mr. Speaker. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, let us ensure devolution works. And I'm happy one of the committees that is defining this session of Parliament is Health Committee, Mr. Speaker. There are many challenges that is bedefiling this sector. Mr. Speaker, like when you look at Laikipia County, the issues, I think generally, I can just give an upshot, is the issue of a number of health workers across all. We have inadequate number. And Mr. Speaker, what shocks me is, for example, counties have gone beyond 35% that is recommended for the wage bill. In fact, like Muranga yesterday, Mr. Speaker, they asked 54%. Meru is above 35% that is provided by law. Nandi is approaching 60%. Kisii is approaching 60%. Nairobi is worse off. It's more than 35. Nairobi is going to the craziest numbers, Mr. Speaker. Yet when you go to hospital, you are being told there are no adequate staff to serve a critical sector. Like in Meru, like in Nanyuki, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, another issue is overburden and, burnout, Mr. Speaker. Why is it that governors are hiring people who carry their seats to official functions? Or even toilets, VIP toilets. But they cannot hire nurses and doctors and gynecologists, Mr. Speaker, and pediatricians to assist our daughters, our people, Mr. Speaker. We went to Busia, and I was there, I was shocked. Busia County Referral Hospital. In fact, Busia should be declared a crime scene. Busia County Referral Hospital does not even, Mr. Speaker, let alone the small facility. Busia County Referral Hospital does not even have a functional ambulance. A county referral hospital. We have a problem. And I hope and I believe when the report on health will be tabled, we shall be able to discuss, Mr. Speaker. The next issue I wanted to point out is on the infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, it's sad that there is critical state of disrepair. Window panes, broken tiles, dilapidated roofs, falling ceilings, and condemned structures. Mr. Speaker, it looks like when you visit hospitals in Nanyuki and Meru, you become more sick. That's very sad. Because that is the report I have read, Mr. Speaker. You become more sicker. In fact, that is when you work now, Mr. Speaker, you work to an hospital. You become more sick. Let us be honest, Mr. Speaker. In fact, when I visited Kapsabet County Referral Hospital recently, they cannot even wash bed sheets. Then how can they treat the patients, Mr. Speaker? What? They cannot even wash bed sheets, Mr. Speaker, even cleaning the hospital. The poor lighting. Before even you discuss, I went to the abolition block that belongs to the patients, Mr. Speaker. It is pathetic. Mr. Speaker, when you go there, I met some patients who are telling me in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, let us go and die at home. I almost cried. And for a dry Kalenjin man to cry, Mr. Speaker, it's not easy, it's a curse. Mr. Speaker, and I wanted to point another several sections remain under-equipped with crucial projects such as mortuary, Mr. Speaker. You have had the County Referral Hospital of Meru. It has been, the mortuary is 60. It has 200 bodies, Mr. Speaker. Yani, you suffer while alive, and you also suffer in death, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate, even mortuary. These governors cannot buy the refrigerators to keep the bodies, Mr. Speaker. Even dignity in death is a problem in our counties, Mr. Speaker. Nandi, in fact, Meru County Referral Hospital is better, it has a mortuary. In Nandi, we don't have. We don't have a mortuary. The 100 million that was allocated by Governor Sang has disappeared to thin air. Maybe he wants to run for MP in Aldai. Mr. Speaker, and that is why there is waste disposal systems like syringes, use samples, Mr. Speaker, like blood and many others, Mr. Speaker. There is also ICU. I thought after the COVID, the counties learned something about ICU, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what shocks, and I want to take to as I second to the House now, can you believe Nanyuki allocates in financial year 2024-2025, the county allocated 1.03 billion to the health sector. But you have had the problems, Mr. Speaker. And I'm going to demonstrate. One, in fact, the recurrent was 206 million and 822 million for development expenditure. In fact, in the financial year, they had spent only 33.7 million and 39.9 million on development. But they are condemned buildings. There is missing window panes. Mortuary is not functional. Mr. Speaker, the where incinerator where you destroy so that it is fair to the environment, like syringes, blood samples, and many others, Mr. Speaker, are not functional. You mean our counties are sunk this low, Mr. Speaker? Even to construct an incinerator where you just put bricks and put somewhere just a simple thing, Mr. Speaker? Is this how devolution has sunk, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, let me go to your county, the county I respect so much, the county of Jurinjeke, Mr. Speaker, the county of Katuri Murungi. In the financial year 2024-2025, the county and Mokoro, the county allocated 3.782 billion to the health sector, of which 2.983 billion is for recurrent expenditure and 798 million allocated for development expenditure. But you don't have a mortuary. Window panes are missing. You don't have an incinerator. I will demonstrate shortly. The only person who has seen billions in this room, Mr. Speaker, is only the Senator of Nakuru, Senator Tabitha Keroche. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and it is called girl power. Mr. Speaker, up to the second quarter, the county had spent 1.4 billion recurrent, and there is no drugs in Meru. What are they spending on? Mr. Speaker, and it is good you are sitting on that seat as we discuss your report. Mr. Speaker, 441 million on development. Even in Facilities Improvement Act, in the financial year 2024-2025, the county had collected 41.3 million, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker. And you know, the reason I'm using Senator of Nakuru that he has seen the billion, so that he can explain to us what billion means to the development, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me quickly point out two issues only in Laikipia. Then I conclude with your county, Meru, Mr. Speaker. Only on Nyahururu County Referral Hospitals, Mr. Speaker. The argument, and I've had this argument by counties, that Nyahururu County Referral Hospital is treating patients from Samburu, from Nyeri, from Nakuru, from Nyandarua, Mr. Speaker, which doesn't make sense, Mr. Speaker. Even a total of newborn dialysis machines, Mr. Speaker, and in fact, while the mortuary has 18 bodies, however, there were 61 bodies preserved at the mortuary in Nyahururu County Referral Hospital. 18 bodies, but they are keeping out 61, Mr. Speaker. It means the bodies are being stacked like a slices of bread, Mr. Speaker. So it's very unfortunate. The issue of crowding at the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital is very unfortunate. The issue of pharmaceutical, Mr. Speaker, which are infrastructure and maintenance. In fact, it is very bad because the infrastructure is poor there. Mr. Speaker, you can see, I'm happy there are photos. I wish colleagues could have this report. You can see in photos, Mr. Speaker, the situation. Even this one that is a dental unit, I want to believe this is a dental unit. Mr. Speaker, it is dilapidated, the building itself. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, even waste management, the photo has been provided in this report. They cannot even manage the waste. What is it to the environment, Mr. Speaker? It is very unfortunate. Even in pharmacy, and I want to thank President, Mr. Speaker, because he has directed KEMSA to do last mile distribution of drugs. In Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, the same issue. You now have tried to condense all issues. The issue of mortuary is an issue, critical care, stock supply, overcrowding, and pharmaceutical records is still a problem in Nanyuki, Mr. Speaker, County Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, and it is very unfortunate, patient and dietary needs. Mr. Speaker, I'm told there, the food they give patients in Nanyuki County Referral Hospital cannot be given to a normal human being in Nanyuki. So, Speaker, you know when you are sick, you need like proteins, carbohydrates, maybe vegetables. But I'm told there, Mr. Speaker, they are giving out mostly to, we know that area has potatoes, but that is not the justification to feed potatoes and kiteri to the patients. Patients need to recover by eating very well. And you know they allocate, Mr. Speaker, this money. This money does not belong to governors. It belongs to the people of Kenya. So, Speaker, let me land now properly to your county, Meru County, and start with Timau. I'll just be making quick observation. In Timau, Mr. Speaker, infrastructure and human resource, in fact, insufficient and obsolete equipment. And you remember you have allocated more than 3 something billion Kenya shillings to the health sector. But when you go to Timau, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the photos, I'm happy the committee did provide photos. This place is deserted, and there are so many stalled and incomplete projects in Timau. The governor must up his game. So, Speaker, we know there were challenges at the beginning of county government, but that one is not justification for poor performance in terms of incomplete projects in Timau. In fact, the issue of land asset, that one, the asset register must be looked. The issue of waste, Mr. Speaker, and I don't know, this is a very simple thing. The incinerator, to manage the waste that comes from the hospital, like syringes, like other waste that are generated from Timau, Mr. Speaker. That is of particular concern. Mr. Speaker, let me go to Kibiricha Sub-County Hospital. There are similar issues in pharmaceutical and supply chains, Mr. Speaker, infrastructure and equipment. In fact, there are no theaters and laundry, Mr. Speaker. Even washing bed sheets in Kibiricha that has used in Sub-County Hospital is not being done, and unfunctional, raising concern. So, Speaker, I agree that the issue of human resources is a cross-cutting issue among this hospital. The issue of pharmacy and drugs is still a problem in Kibiricha, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ambulance is only one that is functional in Kibiricha Sub-County Hospital. And you can imagine the population of Meru County is quite significant. So you have only one ambulance in Kibiricha which is operational, and the allegations we are getting is that apart from expired drugs, you must pay to use that ambulance. Just what we do in Nandi. In Nandi, if you have to use an ambulance in any facility, you must give out 1,000 for fuel, which I found it very unfortunate in this day and era, undermining Article 43 of the Constitution. Finally, Speaker, is to conclude with Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. The issue of mortuary is still a problem. Mental health services, inpatient and psychiatric, Mr. Speaker, and they are getting from Mandera. But, Mr. Speaker, this issue of mental health is very critical. It is very important. Mental health we must take. There is so depression. People are committing suicide, Mr. Speaker, as we even approach to elections. People who lose elections, they also need mental health care, Mr. Speaker. There is postpartum issues of mental health care, Mr. Speaker. I have seen one of our colleagues is almost getting mental problems over Malava, Mr. Speaker, elections. So this issue of mental should be taken seriously, Mr. Speaker. It's a serious issue. The depression is real. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm not allowed to name without substantive motion understanding order 10101. No, you know that the person I'm referring to. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ICU, issue of maternity. Mr. Speaker, God has commanded us in Genesis, just 1 minute so that I conclude. God has commanded us in Genesis that we must fill the earth. The people of Meru deserves better maternity services to ensure they continue to procreate for numbers and even for God ordained, Mr. Speaker. The issue of oncology and cancer center, those are issues, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, by and large, this report has really give detail, and I hope colleagues, I would want to sit and listen. As I second, Mr. Speaker, I congratulate the committee for this wonderful report and thank the committee as we go to New Year. Please make sure you visit a number of facilities across, Mr. Speaker. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, it is now my humble duty and honor to second this report on the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight and network engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate endorse the report of the Standing Committee on Health on the county oversight networking engagements in Laikipia and Meru counties, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 11th November 2025. So now I call upon senators wishing to contribute. Let me start with this senior Linda Cheruiyot Tarun Kipkurui, so that you can go and do other duties of the nation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's why with age comes wisdom.
Of course, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I must appreciate you. Mr. Speaker, I must first begin by commending the Committee on Health. This is one of the most active committees of this House, and I appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that consistently they bring reports to this House laying bare the true state of the nation and the true state of devolution as expected by our Constitution in Article 96, Mr. Speaker. We represent counties and their interest. Mr. Speaker, I must appreciate that the county governments continue to struggle, and indeed, Senator Cherargei is right when he exposes that the true measure of performance at county level is provision of health services. And if you want to know a county governor who is working, Mr. Speaker, you check on the state of health facilities in their county. And if you also want to know a thief of a county governor and the county government, Mr. Speaker, you see the operations. You will hear it. Because one of the most difficult things to hide, Mr. Speaker, is provision of health services, because it is immediate. And when people walk into health facilities, they can tell whether that health facility is working or not working, Mr. Speaker. And I must appreciate this new way of working by our committees in the form of field studies. Because I see every week a particular committee is visiting a county. They are checking on ECD centers, the Committee on Education. You find the Committee on Trade. I saw another time they were checking on markets and things like that, much as many of the markets are actually being built by national government. It is my hope that between this December recess, we will manage to convince our colleagues in the National Assembly, as they pass the budget, to at least part of the portion of the, Affordable Housing Fund that is being used to develop markets, it should be part of what is being devolved to counties. I understand their concerns about the costing and all these things, the quality of the works that should be done. But I read the report and I have listened to I don't know if you listened, Senator Mungatana, to the leadership atop the Ministry of Lands and Housing. And one of the things they struggle with, they said it's, as a procuring entity, the nature of the contracts that they have to enter runs into the 100. I believe counties have capacity. We should allow them to do some of these things. We can agree and say these are the standardized costs beyond which a market shouldn't go beyond, like what Public Works used to do back in the day when things were working well before corruption took over the public sector. Because again, counties have shown us things, Senator Mtata. If you leave it free for all, you will see two-story building, and you are told it consumed 1.6 billion shillings, and the governor will proudly walk to open it. So we must set the checks and balances without denying counties the necessary support to perform functions which we know they are able to. Like procuring of markets is something that I am deeply convinced, and I say this in public, I say it in private. I have told my colleagues from the National Assembly, I have told Kimani Ichung'wah many times about this. I have said it even in meetings where the president is, that from our perspective as a Senate, in some of these nationally rolled out programs, Mr. Speaker, some of them are better run by county governments, so long as we set the necessary checks to ensure that the original dream and vision is not lost, particularly on issues to do with cost, with the standards, and the time frame which it takes to execute some of them. Some of the counties actually, Mr. Speaker, will shock you. They will execute it way faster than the national government. Part of the struggle the national government, by insisting on holding on to these funds, continues to face is that the supervisory element of those funds is very low. For example, the markets that President William Ruto launched in my own county of Kericho, none of them is beyond 30–40%. Here they were launched, I think, at the beginning of this year. I believe if those funds were being administered at the county level, Mr. Speaker, today that contractor will almost be finishing. And we need to send them as just conditional grants so that they are not diverted to do other things. It should be known, for example, that these are specifically for building markets in Taita Taveta. These are the number of markets that they need to build. We know this is a costing that has been done, and the counties procure competitive, so that you give even a chance for local entrepreneurs from Mololwe and Voi, Senator Maruma, to compete for those programs. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to divert from the original report. I was just speaking to the point that it is in the place of this House to speak for devolution and to make sure that we work to ensure that devolution succeeds in this country. Mr. Speaker, I make the case this afternoon, having read this report, that the Senate's Health Committee have actually overdone themselves. And I appreciate them, Mr. Speaker, that what began as an innocent venture out to counties, because I know how this field visits began. They said, let us just explore and learn, has given them a lot of insight on the operation of health facilities in our county, Mr. Speaker. And the sorry state that exists. You know, the unfortunate thing, colleague senators, is the fact that we should never lose sight of how it feels when to be an ordinary citizen. You know, as leaders, our life ordinarily is made very comfortable. You have a health cover. When you're unwell, takes care of you, take care of your children. I don't remember the last time, for example, on account of at least good health, Mr. Speaker, that I struggled with a medical bill of my own immediate family. That ought to be the dream of the people that you represent, and not just us as leaders alone. And it ought to be the work that we strive each and every day, Senator Mungatana, to ensure that we achieve that, particularly for the rural folk that we represent, you and I, and the rest of us that come from parts of the country that you can easily refer to as the forgotten corners of a country. Mr. Speaker, this report speaks about two counties, the county of Laikipia and Meru. Yet, you could easily remove the name Laikipia and Meru, and it will be the story of every other, each of the 47 devolved units. Mortuaries that are not working, drug refill rates that are below 50%, Mr. Speaker, dilapidated facilities in those health centers. And that is a dream. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, I continue to insist that if there is a report that I'm looking forward to, Senator Mungatana, is a report that C.S. Duale will table on the operations of SHA for the last 1 year. And when he was in this house, I think this is the 10th time, I don't think I've ever repeated a point like I am about to do this one on a particular topic like I'm doing on this one. That report must contain compensation to the public health facilities in all our counties and how much they have received in compensation for the last 1 year. so that I'm able to go back to my people and tell them, the more you register and visit and make use of your public health facilities, the more compensation they get. And when they are compensated, if you put that money to prudent use, Mr. Speaker, then you improve the status of that facility. Because many facilities, I gave the example one time of a time I visited the Kericho County Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, and the medical superintendent told me, one of the things that they appreciate most about SHA is that on a monthly basis, they would have to write off bills ranging from 7 to 10 million shillings. That is citizens who have been treated, then after they have recovered, when they are presented with the bill, they say, I don't have medical cover, I have no way of meeting this bill. The social worker detains them for a week, the second week, then they realize it is even expensive because when you keep them there, you have to feed them. It is more expensive than keeping them in hospital. They are just released and let go. But thanks to SHA, that bill had gone to as low as less than 1 million shillings. Because many of the patients that were coming at that time, and this is about 3 or 4 months after the launch of SHA, when I visited that hospital, were presenting their registration. And they were getting 50, 60, 70% of their bills being paid, particularly in health facilities, in public health facilities, Mr. Speaker. And that helped to stabilize things. Remember, secondly, and I say this to our colleagues, Senator Sifuna and the rest, who have a different view of this SHA, earlier, Mr. Speaker, that on account of compensation to public institutions, that is the genius of SHA and something that ought to be supported. Why? Because when you put resources into public institutions and ensure that they are put to prudent use, Mr. Speaker, then those facilities improve naturally. They are able to buy linen, they are able to restock the medicine supplies, they are able to pay their personnel, they can keep a clean health facility, Mr. Speaker, they can do capital projects if they build sufficient capital, Mr. Speaker, things that they will never have dreamt about if that program hadn't been sufficiently run, Mr. Speaker. The second and most important thing about this that you are speaking about today, Mr. Speaker, is the drug refill rate. I have seen for Laikipia, they said in the 2 facilities they visited, one was at 40%, the other one was at, I think 30, Mr. Speaker, which is rather unfortunate because it basically means after the diagnosis, the patients actually, Mr. Speaker, have to go to buy medicine from a chemist outside that health facility. And most of the time that chemist is owned by the same medical personnel that work in those public institutions. I hope that somehow, because I know this is something that the President has spoken about, he did make a mention of it in the State of the Nation address, on the partnership between county governments and KEMSA, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we have a higher refill rate in our public institutions, as such that because they are now guaranteed of payment, unlike the past case where there was no guarantee of payment by users of public health facilities, at least the numbers are better now, Mr. Speaker, and there are lesser people showing up to public health institutions without the ability to pay, then KEMSA can release those drugs and refill these institutions better. But it need not to be at the level 4s and 5s, Mr. Speaker, alone. Even at primary health care level, from level 1 to level 3, Mr. Speaker, that ought to be the operating standard, so that when a villager, when a person walks, Mr. Speaker, to a public health dispensary deep down in the village, and the doctor or the attending physician is able to diagnose them accurately and correctly and establish that which they are suffering from, they go back home with medication, Mr. Speaker, because that is a dream of a working public health care. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I dare say, if we resolve the issue of healthcare at the primary healthcare level, Mr. Speaker, we will make more savings in terms of the public resources that we spend under health, Mr. Speaker, because when you prevent, when you give treatment at the first sign of medical challenge, Mr. Speaker, then you save on cost, and that is something which we are all aware. Mr. Speaker, infrastructure is a critical issue that is being mentioned in this report, that jointly in the county of Laikipia and Meru, the infrastructure actually was found to be in terrible state of disrepair, deficits, missing window panes, broken tiles, dilapidated roofs, falling ceiling, condemned structures. Like I have said, this can be Busia, it can be Kericho, it can be Taita Taveta, Tana River, Kisii. This is the story of our public health facilities in all the devolved units. And it's something that we must think about, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I keep on insisting that one thing SHA must do is a balance of compensation to public health institutions vis-a-vis the private ones. I know why I'm saying that, Mr. Speaker. I am saying that because I know for a fact that under NHIF, part of the things that sank NHIF, Mr. Speaker, is that for double the cost, private institutions were getting their compensation in lieu of service 3, 4, 5 times faster than public institutions. If you went to a scan at Longisa and you're an NHIF registered member, Longisa will have to wait for close to a year before they are compensated, maybe for 8,000 shillings, and the facility next door, a small clinic belonging to well-connected individuals, first they will bill NHIF 16 or 30,000, and they'll be paid within a week or two, depending on how quickly they bring back a kickback to the head office here. That is something that technology has helped us to kick out, Mr. Speaker, because as it is, with the aid of AI and technology, those are not things that are possible anymore. Payment has been standardized across all hospitals, from public to private. What SHA covers for is publicly known. If it's dialysis, it's known to this amount. If it is healthcare provision, under the treatment, say, of cancer, you know the proposal that was made at the State of the Nation address, that from 1st of December it will be moved from 500,000, I think, to 800,000 per patient, something like that. I don't want to quote wrong figures, but it's in the State of the Nation speech. We can counter-check. That information is known. That is the only way, Mr. Speaker. And we must get our county governments to use that resource and put it to prudent use. While we are waiting for that report from SHA to be tabled in this House, members of Health Committee and Vice Chair, Madam Mariam, you are here, is because we want to see now, after money has gone to these facilities, and remember, we passed the FIF law, Facility Improvement Fee, and we ring-fenced that fund, that it can never be used for anything else. You know, previously, Senator Mangatana, if you didn't know, you'd find county assemblies, because they don't know where to source for medicine from, but they know where to buy dust and maram from, Mr. Speaker. They will take money from health facilities and go and pour it on and inflate the budget of the roads department, because they can easily procure maram, but they don't know where to buy syringes from and other things. And we made sure that in the FIF law, we ring-fence the resources that are raised and the compensation that go back to health facilities to be purely for running health institutions. So it will be important, once you receive that report from CS Duale when he lays it in this House, for you to check Hola Sub-County Hospital. How much compensation have they received the last number of years? What has it done? Previously, remember that same hospital used to survive on perhaps 20-30% of that budget only. What improvement has the governor made in that health institution since that compensation improved? That is what we must begin to question. That is what we must begin to find out from these institutions. Because many of our health facilities today, especially the public ones, are receiving over and above 50 to 70% of what they previously used to receive. As it is today, Mr. Speaker, we must see improvement. We cannot allow hospitals to remain as they are, as captured in this particular report, Mr. Speaker. We must be able to see governors now allow patients get clean linen, use clean toilets, staff compensated, and not have staff that are asking for bribe from patients' families because they say we have stayed for 2-3 months without pay. Those must now be things of the past. And it is my hope that our colleagues from the health committee. By the time we come back in February, those are the reports that you'll be telling us so that we can appreciate. So that I want to carry the excerpt of the page that will have Kericho County, Mr. Speaker, and the facilities there. So that now you physically go and inspect and ask, who is the committee first in charge of this dispensary? You have received 60, 70, 80,000 from SHA. Previously, there was no such funds that were coming in. How are you using it to improve this particular facility? So that this SHA and our public health infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, can be seen to work and improve in making things better. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I just wish to remind all of us that this is not a Meru story. This is not a Laikipia story. This report by our colleagues is a story of public health in our devolved units. And it is something that we must speak about boldly. The absence of mortuary facilities, Mr. Speaker, that you hear, like, for example, in, I think, Laikipia, they said a mortuary that was meant for 16 people was housing 61 bodies. It's what Senator Cherargei cheekily calls that you suffer in life and even in death you continue suffering. That you are squeezed in life and squeezed in death as well. That cannot obtain as a situation in our public institutions, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I congratulate you, Senator Mariam Sheikh, and the leadership of the Health Committee and all the membership that continue to do this, because as a house, we must prioritize healthcare. It is the one thing that common families struggle with. Many families are just one sickness away from total poverty. Many families, Mr. Speaker, once a member of their family has become sick, they are forced to sell land and do other things that are unfortunate because of this state of affairs in public health institutions. It is my hope that as this committee continues to show the reality in these institutions, things will get better. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I wish to say that I support and congratulations to the Health Committee. Let us have more of such.
Thank you, Senate Majority Leader, Senator Aaron Turiot. I now call upon Senator Mungatana Danson Buya.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to make a comment or two on this report by our Health Committee. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Vice Chair, Honorable Mariam Sheikh, for very ably moving this report, and the Honorable Senator Cherargei for seconding this report. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with previous speakers on this floor that in fact what was witnessed by our Health Committee in Laikipia and Meru counties is the same story repeated in our counties. And Mr. Speaker, we have a serious problem in terms of financing of our county hospitals. We have passed the law, and we have even said here in the fifth that we shall ring-fence financing for facilities. But Mr. Speaker, governors are struggling with this. A lot of governors are still not giving the facilities their freedoms to use the monies they raise within the same facilities. So, Mr. Speaker, as we speak on this matter, we want to encourage governors across the country that they must support what the law is saying. There is no justification in breaking the law, taking the money from the health facilities and taking it to the county revenue fund. Mr. Speaker, I want to speak on a matter that has not been dealt on much in the previous speeches by my colleagues. digital health records have become a serious requirement. Whenever a patient is being moved from one level to another level, whenever a patient has an emergency, digital health records, Mr. Speaker, are critical. But this, again, has not been given the necessary support in many of our county governments. Of course, we know some county governments have taken this matter very seriously, and they have actually gone out of their ways to make sure this sector works. I keep referring to the county of Muranga and the governor who is there, a former colleague in this house, who has gone out of his way as far as digitization of health records and his entire governance system. It is to be commended and to be followed. Mr. Speaker, the digital health records are critical. Why? Because when we have those records, then the patient, whenever they are being admitted to another level, or if it is an emergency, then quickly the personnel who are dealing with that patient are able to quickly deal with the issue that has brought that patient there, and they are able also to know what kind of a patient they are dealing with. Mr. Speaker, many counties are still not digitizing their records. Many counties are still, people are still being given a small book to carry. And I know this because in my county, this practice is still happening in local dispensaries, in local health centers. People are not, there's no digital information, so that when someone is having to be referred to another level, then, Mr. Speaker, there is a struggle. Again, Mr. Speaker, there was a challenge that was found in Laikipia and Meru counties about the effectiveness of the referral systems. The referral systems were not working, and those county hospitals that are supposed to be referral hospitals, they are being overburdened even by cases which are really not referral, which means, Mr. Speaker, a referral hospital in Meru County, a referral hospital in Laikipia County, they are being treated as if they are hospitals of first visit. And, Mr. Speaker, this practice must be discouraged, and it is because of the ineffective systems of referrals. This report has highlighted what is happening in Meru. It has highlighted what is happening in Laikipia County, but the story is the same for Tana River County. Again, Mr. Speaker, when people are being referred, the digital records are not there. There's no effective system of referring people, and patients, Mr. Speaker, are being asked to pay for the ambulatory services. Mr. Speaker, our patients from Tana River County, many of them, when they go to hold a referral, a hospital, they are being asked to go to Kilifi County Hospital for referral, and they are being asked to go to Garissa County for referral. And yet, both are referral hospitals. And, Mr. Speaker, it has reached a point where our own patients from the county are being rejected in these other counties because they are asking, why are you coming to us and yet you have been given money like us? Mr. Speaker, what is happening now is that our patients, they have to tell lies that although my ID is saying that I'm from Tana River County, but in fact I live on the borderline between our county, between Kilifi County and Tana River County, or between Garissa County and Tana River County. Why? Because, Mr. Speaker, there is a problem in our county in Tana River, and this is a total failure by our governor. Mr. Speaker, our governor has failed to be responsive to all the issues that are being raised. Mr. Speaker, whether it is county health committee, a county assembly health committee, when they raise the issues, the governor is not responsive. The CEC for health is not responsive. The chief officer for health is not responsive. Whether it is ourselves as an office of the Senate, when we raise our issues on behalf of the people, again, there's no response. Whether it is the citizens themselves who are raising issues affecting health, there's no response. Mr. Speaker, a very sad incident happened very recently. On the 11th November 2025, Lulu Mohammed Hassan, a pregnant woman, was bitten by a snake, and he was rushed to Hola Hospital. And he's going there as an emergency, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just an antivenom was required to stabilize that situation. How can a whole hospital, which is a referral hospital, fail to have an antivenom, Mr. Speaker? Protect me from the majority leader, Mr. Speaker. How can it be, Mr. Speaker, that a pregnant woman who is bitten by a snake goes to a hospital at 10 p.m. and there is no antivenom? And this is a county referral hospital. How can that happen, Mr. Speaker? Antivenom, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, how is that? A county referral hospital lacking a basic antivenom to control a snake bite. People have raised these issues. We have raised these issues. The county assembly health committee has raised this issue, even visited the county referral hospital. And I thank our health committee chair for the county assembly, the Honorable Semi Dumba. They have done what they can, but there is no response from the governor, there is no response from the minister, no response from the chief officer. Mr. Speaker, Lali Mohammed passed away. 10 p.m., no antivenom, she passed away, and the baby in her stomach also passed away. Tana River County. On 11th November 2025. And Mr. Speaker, today we are just a few days towards the end of the month. To date, Mr. Speaker, there is no response from the governor. He has never visited that family to say, we are sorry. He has never bothered to go to the hospital to find out what is happening. This is a governor who has allocated, from the money we gave them from the Senate, he allocated 1.7, Mr. Speaker, 35 billion to the health sector in that county. 1.73 billion, and they cannot get an antivenom, Mr. Speaker. This is the situation that we find ourselves in. A governor who does not visit any hospital. A governor who does not talk at all about hospitals. A governor who doesn't bother with the people's health matters. This is the situation we have. Yet, they have allocated 1.73 billion from the money that we gave them from the Senate. But wonders of wonders, Mr. Speaker. 1.7 billion for health sector, 1.53 billion goes to recurrent expenditure. 1.53 billion goes to recurrent expenditures. So what they have remaining is just 196 for development, a mere paltry 196 million for development. But today, if you go to ask any person in Tana River, including the supporters of that governor, they will tell you there's nothing happening in the health sector. Mr. Speaker, it is worse than Laikipia County, which we are discussing today. It is worse than Meru County that we are discussing today. And I've asked the health committee through the vice chair to make a special visit to that county, because we have a problem with a non-caring governor who does not bother about, I think after he listens to my speech is when he will appear there to take a photo. But this is the situation that we have. Terrible situation. Mr. Speaker, when a life is lost, even one life, it is too expensive for the county and the country as a whole. But when, because of just an antivenom, a woman loses her health and the baby inside, and you say nothing, and you are supposed to be the chief executive officer of that county. How does that happen, Mr. Speaker? I don't know. I don't know. But you know, sometimes we say voters also sometimes also have to carry a burden for the decisions they make at voting. Because voters must also not just cry. They were there, they were voting, and they are voting a second-term governor who's doing nothing on the health sector for our for Tana River County. Mr. Speaker, we need to think about changing the whole approach to the health sector. I'm personally one of those people who really supports the idea that maybe all governors, and maybe extend to all of us, but governors in particular, who are supposed to be in charge of hospitals, there should be a law that says they must always be admitted in those public hospitals in their counties. And they must die there. If the other people are dying there, they must also die there, like other citizens there. Maybe we should think of a law that says they must be treated there. Their wives, their children must be treated in county facilities, because they need to test how it is to be in those public hospitals. They need to feel how our people are feeling. There are health records which you know, I've talked here about health records. I've said they must be digital, not pieces of paper that we see still happening in our county. So they must see what is happening there. They must feel what the people feel. Mr. Speaker, failing to bring drugs to the people, Mr. Speaker, failing to even give them, forget about antivenoms, even Panadols, Mr. Speaker, in our county hospital. It is a shame. Mr. Speaker, I served in the Ministry of Medical Health as an assistant minister many years ago when we worked with Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. Professor Anyang' Nyong'o came to serve in this Senate and later on became the governor of Kisumu. But Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, in July 2023, he was admitted to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Referral Hospital. And you know what? He carried a very serious and sensitive operation in that hospital, a hospital in his county. I wonder whether my governor, what is his name again? Godhana, whether he will be willing to be admitted in Hola Referral Hospital like Professor Anyang' Nyong'o and undergo an operation there. Mr. Speaker, I think we need to have a heart for our people. And this goes to all governors. Some of you are doing very well. Some of you are taking this job as a joke. You think it's just another political thing we do. Governors are not really seriously politicians. Governors are not supposed to be political. Even in your speech, when I come for a Madaraka Day holiday, I can talk the politics I want. I'm a senator. But you as a governor, tell us facts and figures. This is what our governor never does, Mr. Speaker. They will never tell you how much money has been allocated, how much has been used, how much has gone to where. I think also another distinguished former governor, Kivutha Kibwana, was admitted in his own county's hospital. Distinguished people like this. We should honor these people, not these fake governors who are not doing anything, Mr. Speaker. Particularly my governor. Mr. Speaker, when this woman died and the people were all over, all over, making noise, demonstrating, doing what? The least that he could have done is to go and say, oh, Mama, I'm sorry. Family, I'm sorry. He has never appeared, Mr. Speaker. What we hear is that he traveled to Brazil. And one wonder, what are you doing in Brazil? To learn how to play football? Because there are no reports that we see that come from all these travels. Just expending money, spending money. And there's nothing that comes back to Tana River. Mr. Speaker, we need to rethink about this whole health thing. We need to make sure that the governor, the minister in charge, the chief officer, whenever they are sick, whenever their babies are sick, whenever their wives are sick, they should be admitted to those hospitals in the county. And we should make it a criminal offense if they go to be treated outside the county. Because these people are killing our people. They are killing our people. You cannot tell me you allocate 1.7 billion and you can't buy an antivenom to save a life. Mr. Speaker, with all those remarks, I stand to support this report. I want to congratulate the Health Committee for the work they have done. And as I have said, I want them to come to Tana River so they can see what is happening in that place, especially the Hola Referral Hospital. That is now becoming a joke because it's taking all its patients. When you go there, you are referred. You are going for referral, you are referred again. So it's like a referral hospital. I don't know what to call it, Mr. Speaker. We want to see governors doing their work. And some people think that we are doing this for politics. I have no interest in running for governor. But they should just do their work. Just do your work, for Christ's sake. And appear with the people and talk to the people. You have people who are governors and they're disappearing from the county. They don't appear in their offices. They don't go to their homes. They operate here in Nairobi and Mombasa. Shame on them. Mr. Speaker, let us do something for our people. With those many remarks, I thank you for giving me this opportunity and I support this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mungatana. And as a ranking member of the House of Parliament, there's a proposal that you have made as regards a possibility of a requirement to have all those sitting governors